Hi, everybody. I'm meteorologist Andy Parker. It is great to have you along as we continue to track Blizzard 2022, or the Christmas blizzard, as yet unnamed, but I know you folks will do that. If you have one, put it in the comments on the side of the screen. Let me bring in my panel tonight. We have with us here Doppler radar, of course, watching the storm, and Mr. Dave Vogan, who is a storm chaser in Buffalo and a meteorologist as well. He's going to help me navigate through everything tonight. All the content that we've collected during the course of the day and more when the sun went down. Take a look at some of the imagery in here. It is absolutely stunning. As we look at Skycam in Buffalo, there's nothing on it. It's been a whiteout for quite some time. This is what people were battling today. Let me bring this full so you can get a look at it here. Feel free to pop your comments in on the side of the screen. We're going to take all of your questions, run through the new information that's just coming in now as we have some data on how much is falling, how much has fallen, and when is this thing going to be on the move. That is some blinding snow out there in portions of Cheektowaga. Folks were stranded today, and the view as we move into South Buffalo, I believe. Oh, no, this is the time lapse. David, tell me about this.
Yeah, this is in North Buffalo. And by the way, standing outside when that wind is whipping that hard, yeah, the snow actually begins to hurt your face as well as the cold. But this is a time lapse of the blizzard moving through Buffalo. I mean, it's like a giant snowball, Andy, that nature has curved our way today.
That's right. It's beginning to build up. Look at it stack up on the fence back there. Reports that's over on the Amherst-Buffalo border that went from almost zero on the lawn, a little bit of slush, and now it's halfway up the fence in the garage on one side, and it can be bare pavement on the other. People seeing that all over. This one out of South Buffalo, it's weather_Buffalo. This is Rich. He's one of the other storm chasers with us, and look at what he picked up there. If you find him on Twitter, he's a great follow. Look at the snow swirling, whipping. You've got snow nados out there. The vehicles haven't been buried, so we're not to the level of 1977, but look at this. Talk about the frozen door. Where's Elsa when you need her? That is, where is that picture from, Dave?
Oh, that's in the Buffalo area too. Yeah, that door, I mean, that's everybody. That's how we feel. Just looking at that, it just gives you shivers, right?
That's where it is right now. Yeah. 100%. Boy, let's get to Doppler. The questions are coming in. We love them. Our job here is to answer the questions. You're going to drive the bus. You tell us what town and when or whatever you want, and we'll provide all the answers. All we ask in return is that you hit that like button and the share button. We push this thing out together and get it going. Everybody says good evening and hello. It's hey from North Tonawana's in the house. And what does it say here? Any cyclones reported, or is it too cold? No, no water spouts. No one said they saw any, but I think they're ripped to shreds in the wind. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's too strong. That wind is just pushing. And by the way, it has picked up. You're not crazy. It has picked up in the past couple of hours. Niagara Falls was seeing gusts up to 50 miles an hour the past few hours, and now it's back up into the 60s.
Yeah, we're not done with the winds yet. We're going to keep those 60-mile-an-hour winds right through the overnight into tomorrow morning, and then we'll put the 60s behind us. It's saying horrible in Orchard Park. It depends on what part you're in. Let's go to it and talk about what we've got. We're going to the North Towns first. You have to, because they were the ones that were hardest hit by all of this into the city as well. So let's tag a few communities in here. And as we're starting to see, there's a bit of a change on Doppler that we're monitoring right now. There's some different air mass sliding through. We're seeing how it interacts with the band right now. It does not look like it's going to move it, but the northern edge of this, as we look at it, goes all the way. This is well past just downtown Clarence, Akron, Elba, Albion, Brockport, the shoreline of Lake Ontario, but it's right in here, that dark blue. That's where we find the heaviest snow coming down, and it continues. It looks like it's now cutting through the city's core. If you're in the northern portion of that Kenmore, things, I'll call it lightening up. But when you have these winds, it's going to continue to redistribute everything. West Seneca is now being swallowed up. If you're in West Seneca, let us know what you've got out there. It says brutal in Hamburg now. Yeah, look at Hamburg is in the mix too, David. This band is sliding a little closer to the lakeshore. It had been sitting offshore for a while, but it is bending ever so slightly to start encompassing some of the closer burbs and maybe releasing its grip on Grand Island. Hello from Medina. When does the storm move from Snyder? Let's go over to this one. We just showed you where the band is. David, let's tell them where it's going to go, starting with right now. We'll take it through breakfast tomorrow. What happens?
Yeah, it's not going to move. It's not going to budge at all. It's going to be one of those storms that, what you're seeing is what you're getting. You're just going to have to sit back, relax, watch it just, snow pretty hard. And it'll wobble a little bit up for the breakfast hour from Buffalo into the north towns. The edge of this is going to be up towards 990 Grand Island Bridge and up to the Erie County border there. And then we see that shift after lunch, after the game here on Christmas Eve, and then into the South Towns permanently during the evening hours on Christmas Eve. And it's just going to stick into South Towns and ski country from there on out. So, yeah, it's just hunker down, sit back and relax, and
You got it.
stay warm.
All right, Dave, here's a question. Dawn says tomorrow it looks like the bands may tighten up a little bit. Let's rewind. There's the pre-dawn hour. Let's go to Christmas Eve. You're in Christmas Day. Let's back it up a little bit. Look at the center of the storm. There's an indication that as the winds back down a bit, that this may tighten up. If you rewind that just a tad, we'll be able to see it there. And normally what we're finding is that this band being pushed around, and if we can back, there it is. And there might be a tightening in the center of that. It may be intensifying. That's one of the things you may see on there. Hope it clears up a little bit tomorrow. Supposed to go from Batavia to Corfu at 4. Let's take a look at it. 4 p.m. on the clock. David, can you do this for Kate? Let's see if she's going to make it from Batavia to Corfu over there. Right now, that's cutting through that area in the morning hours, and it doesn't look like it's going to do it in time for you. Sorry to deliver the bad news. Someone else says their door looks like that as well. It is very bad, says Ron in Hamburg. Everybody's cheering in on that. What about Orchard Park? Let's talk about this tomorrow. Rewind that clock. Let's show everybody when this thing gets to Orchard Park. It's hitting it now, but the center of the band, when is it going to be the worst in Orchard Park, the deterioration?
Yeah, it's going to actually, your conditions are going to improve overnight into early Christmas Eve as that band slowly lifts north again for the north towns. And then watch what happens. So, breakfast, you're okay. Lunch, you're okay. Dinner hour, watch out. Here it comes over the OP, and that's when it's going to deteriorate again.
Yeah, so Viv, it's horrible now, but you haven't seen anything yet. The folks in the South Towns, deeper South Towns, have no idea what's to come. If you look out your window and you think, okay, this isn't that bad, we can deal with it, then you're going to see something like this. This is what's coming again tomorrow. All of this stuff, this whiteout conditions, and this is at a gas station in Cheektowaga. You can barely see about 10 feet from you, and then at times it goes to 0. So that's what's on the way, and this is the band that's producing that, and that's going to stay right where it is throughout much of the overnight. Will the travel bands be there tomorrow? Kenmore, Pendleton? Yes. That's not going to leave until the evening hours tomorrow. Is Elma in the mix tomorrow as well? It's a little bit further north than Orchard Park, so I think they'll pick that up quicker, right?
Yeah, you're going to be in the thick of things throughout the day. You'll get a break during the afternoon, and then it'll come back again for the dinner time on Christmas Eve.
All right, there you go. Medina. Go to the north, David. Let's see what Medina has to unpack for them. I think we've got some good news for those folks, but what time does this start to slip out of Orleans County?
Well, you're going to get another wave of snow heading into early Christmas Eve morning. This is Medina. I can move it up a little bit here. So Albion, Medina, Middleport, Lockport. This is where the snow is going to be during the morning hours. And then it moves south afternoon, evening. So this is right around 5 o'clock in the evening, Christmas Eve. You can see out of Medina and Albion's backyard.
All right, there we go. East Aurora, we covered that just now. Hopefully everybody's on board with that one. And it says, how long is the snow band going to stay in Buffalo and South Buffalo? And then that's a conundrum there. That's going to be there a while. As we look at it, you can see that this band resides where it is. And it's as stationary as you're going to see this thing, as it's just kind of locked in there. Here's the overnight hours. In the morning, I don't think it exits Buffalo and South Buffalo until a good chunk of Christmas Eve is done. Probably about 4, 5, 6 o'clock in the evening, it starts to make its move. And then it's slow. In 10 o'clock, maybe South Buffalo, you're going to have to take a little longer. North Buffalo will do a little bit better. Hey, Tracy just did this for us. We're hoping everybody else out there can as well. Hit the like button and the share button one time. That's all we need, and we'll get this out to as many people as we can. And once you ask your question and you hit the share button, that means others can come in and do the same thing as well. You're not limited to one question. We just like to throw that out there. Akron Newstead, so hard to tell how much snow has actually falling because it's just blowing around. David, you want to tackle the snow totals that just came in? What's the official number at the airport now?
Yeah, the official number at the airport came in. This is a brand new report. About 17 inches of snow. That's from the Buffalo Airport, the National Weather Service. Kenmore came in right around 11 inches, and then East Concord 3. But the other bell ringer is Lockport up in Niagara County. You folks got around 8 inches of snow. So you've already got some impressive snowfall totals, and then you add the wind and the drifts out there. I think that's something that a lot of people can be walking out to.
All right, moving on. What do we have here? It says it's been wild in Corfu since 10:30 in the morning. Hey, Carl Russo's in the house. He says hello again. Great to have you back, Carl. And it's good that you're here, too, because take a look at this. If you were on mic, I'd let you do Lancaster Speedway. But we've got Tracy out there wondering about East Lancaster. I never really called it East and West Lancaster, but let's look at this map right here. And tomorrow, Lancaster gets in the mix. Hamburg, Lancaster, Springville, Castile, Geneseo, Caledonia, places we haven't called yet. When is it going to die down in Lockport? Let's back it up and answer the question for the folks up there in Niagara County. David, slide this slider and we'll bring it back. When does it leave the port tomorrow?
Yeah, you're going to have to wait for some time. I mean, conditions will lighten up a little bit tonight, but then that band is back into the Niagara-Erie County border here. This is as far north as it's going to get. So just to the south of Lockport. Lockport could see some snowfall again out of this, but the heaviest stuff is going to be remaining around 990 North Buffalo here during the morning hours on Christmas Eve. Band will begin to move south as we head into the afternoon and evening.
Out of Lockport. That's what we wanted to hear, and there it is. All right, when will the winds die down? They don't die down and go away. They just slow down from 60 miles an hour down to 40 miles an hour. Got another question in here about West Seneca. We covered that, and this is where it's going to be. West Seneca tomorrow evening. Actually, right now, if you're in West Seneca, you're getting hit, but the heaviest for you will come tomorrow. Lewiston and Youngstown, super strong winds. We talked about that. Those 60-mile-an-hour winds cranking up again. They're going to be there through the overnight. Kaisertown and Lovejoy. Wow. Yeah, that is big stuff. We're talking about Hamburg. Here it comes again. Let's put it on the screen. And I want to put what's currently happening on the screen real quick. I know we're looking at the predictive model there, but take a look at this. As we zero into the city, it's been kind of sliding just ever so slightly to the south. And when we look at the camera in Buffalo, this is what we're able to see now. Before, we couldn't even see the ground. And it looks like we have a report of about 10 inches in the city. If you have a snow total in your backyard, go ahead and give it up to us so that we can share it with everybody here. Let's look at the radar again. And Hamburg is involved in this. So there's the cutoff. As you can see at the northern edge of the heavy snow into the city. Lackawanna is in this, and you can't really tell from this vantage point, but there you can see this band now coming in, crushing portions of the shoreline in Erie County, and the heaviest of that is coming right through. What is that over? Is that Tift Nature Preserve? That big gap right there, Dave?
Yes.
All right. So
it's right around there. It's that's Tift Avenue or Tift Road.
Gotcha. The cutoff is probably over by the Gallerias getting crushed, and then the 33 looks like where we find the heaviest of the snow there.
Hey, I don't know if you wanted to see this, but I do have a night-tech cam of Hamburg since we were just talking about Hamburg and
Absolutely.
the conditions and the conditions there. And you can see that looks like a couple of plows just slowly trying to go down the thruway. But this is right around the Scranton exit on the thruway, and you barely can even see a thing except for the flashing lights out there. Here goes another plow.
There they go.
So they're taking it slow. They're not even going the full speed limit.
And when they go and when they do go, it's just going to come right back with all that. Guy says, great to have you in the house, guy. He says, Tonawanda now, it looks worse in Tonawanda now than it did earlier. And when we go back to the map and bring it in, it's kind of odd that you'd say that because it actually has lightened up as far as the snowfall. But I think when we talk about the winds, they're actually picking up. We said it's horrible in Blaisdell, same in Gettsville. There's a lot of people kind of chiming in about the same thing. I think we talked about Medina, New York up there as well. We answered that one. Hello from Niagara Falls. When will it leave Kenmore? It's giving you what I would call a little bit of a break right now from the heavy stuff. I know you're going to say it's not stopped, but at least the heavy stuff is down there. Real windy in Dunkirk. He's been outside, hasn't been outside today in Dunkirk. It seems to have dropped south. Yes, it has. Windy in Williamsville, but if you look at that in Williamsville, the center of the screen, you're actually seeing a little bit of a break from the super heavy stuff. If you haven't seen your neighbor's house in a while, you're going to be able to do that as well. This is a 30-pack storm, says Rick. We're heading there as well. Wind is even more intense at the West Seneca-Elma border, and that may be because that's kind of the southern edge of where you're getting this snow band now. So the snow band along the edges is traditionally more gusty than the middle, but today we've got all of that wind out there across western New York. Any more snow for Niagara Falls? Dave, is that predictive model ready to roll again? Can we take this and just see how close does it get? I don't think the Falls is invited to the party anymore.
No, and by the way, just looking at wind gusts right now, Niagara Falls Airport just reported a 63-mile-an-hour gust, and I think the highest they recorded today was just over 70. So yeah, the winds are beginning to gust again up there in Niagara County and across western New York. But here's the predictive model as we go into tomorrow. So the cutoff Christmas Eve is, again, going to be the South Grand Island Bridge, the Tonawandas, all the way up to Albion and Middleport up there in Orleans County. That's as far north as this model is taking this band right now. And you can see throughout the overnight hours, it's not budging much into Christmas Eve until, Andy, we get into late in the day tomorrow. So Niagara Falls, you're going to be looking outside.
So Niagara Falls not coming back. Not coming back.
No.
You could draw the line from Lockport maybe to the North Grand Island Bridge. North of there, we're good to go. And in that situation, we've got another one here. How about tomorrow near Tonawanda? I think we just talked about that. It never really makes it back just on the edge of Tonawanda there, I think, is the part of that cutoff there. West Seneca is bad. It says nastier, heavier winds in West Seneca again. Who else we got here? High from Middleport is in the house. Another brutal in West Seneca. It's been bad since 9 or 10 a.m. It's been nonstop in South Cheektowaga. Yes, it does. That's where some of that video that we had where it was blinding snow is from South Cheektowaga. West Seneca border here with Lackawanna. It's intense outside. And as we pop that on the screen, all of these reports of the intense wind and snow are now drifting, pardon the pun, out of the kind of the northern sections, the Tonawandas and the Williamsvilles, and moving into the West Senecas here. Let's go ahead and here it says, I think wind is the strongest in Tonawanda all day now. Had snow coming in the stove hood on top of the fan. The toilet, he's got a sash on his toilet, David.
Ugh.
I've never heard it.
That is a nightmare. That is the nightmare situation of nightmare situations.
Yeah, a sash on the toilet. You don't.
How do you clean that?
There's such a direction we could take on this one, and it's not going there. Felicia says the wind is super bad in her Niagara Falls, Lewiston location. Yep, 100%. It's so all these winds. When everybody thought maybe we were done with the big winds because it's backing down a little bit. That's not the case. This is the view. We weren't joking when I built this graphic. This is one that's what you're seeing out there. It's so bad in Ransomville now. It says you can't see everything is frozen, and it probably looks a lot like this. I mean, it's winter is coming through the door uninvited. That's what's happening in that picture there. It's great to have everybody along. Do me a quick favor. Take 1 second out of your life. Hit that like button and the share button. It is awesome when you do it. I can see all you guys out there. We can get your questions, and you guys drive the bus. You keep the questions coming. We'll keep answering them as well. And if we don't get to your question and need something answered, we'd love to do it. All you got to do is text us, 503-ANDY, 503-2639 in the 716. If you type weather, you're going to get a quick summary back with a link. And then if you want a question, you go ahead and type it in there and you're good to go. So we're offering that up to everybody as well. Brutal in West Seneca, again, hasn't stopped all day. Now, I don't think West Seneca, from what I saw, was in the center of it. But boy, people are saying it's been going there all day long. Will it slow down in Clarence and Lancaster tomorrow? Let's talk about Clarence tomorrow, Dave, because there's a lot of folks with some itchy trying to get out of the house. I don't know that it's going to quit anytime soon. I'll let you answer that one.
Yeah, and you still have that travel ban, by the way, for all of Erie County. Keep that in mind. But yeah, Clarence, Amherst area, this is what you're looking at, and this is early Christmas Eve morning. This band is just going to sit on top of the thruway of Buffalo, especially as we go throughout the morning hours, barely even budging here. The border of this, again, 990, Amherst, Clarence. This is the heaviest snow, by the way. Clarence Center, darker blues, that's where you're not seeing anything. So you're going to have to wait until you get into past 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the evening on Christmas Eve to see that band just move south of your backyard here.
All right, there we go. He wanted to run this through models through Monday. Corey, I'm not going to do that because there's just so much intense information to hand out here. I don't want to mix it up, but it does live into Monday. It goes down and probably comes back up a little bit. Is there another driving ban tomorrow? Yes, there is. 100%. There we go. The first Go Bills. So it took a while. We're about 10 minutes into this thing. Debbie Frandina's in the house. Look at this. Palm trees and sunshine. How about Angola? Angola is going to be a big winner here when it comes to snow totals. But go ahead and show what's going on as far as the timing for Angola, because I think they're going to end up in the high end of the snow stick.
Yeah, but just to give you a heads up, this model is now starting to update. So the timing on the bar up there is incorrect. But what I can tell you,
this is what we'll do. Let's do this. We'll go right to the total, and then when that's done updating, let us know, and we'll pop back in. Angola in here. We're going to go into here. We're going to call Angola kind of a south town, which I kind of agree with that. And you're down here. These are going to be this just updated as well. So what we've got to do is add this in to the, it's not counting what's on the ground there. There's your numbers for Angola, I believe. That's going to be that's what you're looking at. That's a big number for those areas. Let me see if I can do this, see what the timeline is on this through 12:25 at 7 p.m. So nope, those are the numbers. That's what we've got from today to the end of Sunday. Look at that thing. Wow. Here are your numbers. So you're in the 30s. Lake Erie Beach, Eden, Hamburg, Lackawanna, Buffalo. It's going to add up. These are the numbers. We'll pull it back out a little bit more. And again, this is the target zone where you're going to have extremely heavy numbers. And some of these areas out by the stadium haven't realized it yet, but they will. And then these numbers drop off. But this is going to be Christmas Eve night and then Christmas Day in here as well. So that's when you're going to get your snow. Niagara Falls, you're kind of done up in there. We know that in Lockport, you've probably seen about 7 or 8 inches. I believe that was the total. North Lockport, a lot less. Then you're down here by the car dealers, and it just keeps going. But that Buffalo Depew corridor, those numbers by Sunday night are going to be massive numbers in here. So this is, look at this. I guess the silver lining is that the dish is still working for you. The dish and the internet. That's pretty good. That's excellent. Can we possibly drive tomorrow? That's not happening in a lot of locations because you're going to see these huge numbers of snow. You got the big drifts to deal with. The wind in Niagara Falls is brutal and just keeps coming. Cattaraugus Reservation. Let's go ahead and bring it down there and show you what you've got. This really doesn't do a lot of damage to Cattaraugus County. I know Ellicottville would love to pick some of this up, but I think it kind of shuts down that foot of snow by Springville, and then it drops off a lot there. Ban stays in place tomorrow. Yes, it does. It doesn't leave until tomorrow evening, is what Dave was showing us on that model that was coming in now. Lancaster gets worse tomorrow. So that's where it's coming there. It says, looks like a hurricane out there. Lake Erie Beach, Angola. It is. It's coming down it's sideways at times. Do you have the new model up, Dave?
I do.
All right, well, let's bring it back in and see what we've got. The latest data just came in. We're not going to make you wait for 11 o'clock to see it on the news. You can check it out right here, and we'll take you through it town by town. And we'll widen out. We'll take a look at Salamanca. You're out of the snow party. It's bitter cold down there, but that's it. Dave, let's walk us through the overnight into tomorrow and let me know if there's any changes in there that you see run to run.
Yeah, no, it's pretty much similar. This band is just going to stick around Buffalo and along the areas of the thruway here. So from Akron, Buffalo, South Buffalo, the hardest hit areas, it will again move up northward, right up towards the Tonawandas, the Grand Island Bridge, South Grand Island Bridge. That is, but that's as far south as it gets during the morning hours. Afternoon, still over top of Buffalo, and then you see that shift begin to happen during the evening hours on Saturday. So it's pretty locked in through tomorrow evening.
Yeah, hold it right there. We're going to get a question about Barker tomorrow night. The wind has been insane all day. The wind is going to start dropping down. We talked about that. Here's the profile for the wind. Thank you very much for putting a comment in. 6 in the morning, it's what it is now. 9 a.m., noon, you can see it backs down to around 40 miles an hour. That is what we've got coming our way. So the winds don't go away. They just, I don't even want to call them lighten up. They're going to slow down a little bit, but they do not disappear. Wyoming County, Dave, let's look at it. This doesn't really get into the snow party until later in the forecast time period when you get into Christmas Day. Wyoming County, that's when it comes your way. It'll start blowing through those that open field plateau up there, but that's it. Christmas morning, that's your gift, Warsaw. You get the brunt of the lake effect right in there. And that is it. It says Hamburg. It says doesn't seem to be getting a ton of snow, but a lot of wind that they can't really tell with all the snow blowing sideways. Yeah, this was, which one was it here? I think was it this one that I wanted to show that kind of gives that sense that it's picking stuff up and throwing it around, but it's not exactly. Oh, that was the time lapse. This was the one. Was this South Buffalo, David, or was Hamburg?
That was South Buffalo.
I guess South Buffalo, but it's picking stuff up, it's throwing it down, it's moving it around. Lake temperature, I believe, was still at about 40, but I'm sure that's going to change with all the wave action out there. It's been brutal, 100%. Climber, you're down there in the at the end of things. You're not really going to get into the snow party much, but we can show you what the totals might be. And as you're down here, right at the New York-Pennsylvania line, the snow doesn't stop at Westfield and Ripley. It goes all the way down. So you're not going to be doing any traveling as we go through Christmas Eve further south. And that road will likely stay closed. If they haven't closed that section of it, they will. This section is going to stay closed for quite some time because that band is not moving anywhere for a while. Mike Bauer said took a 5-minute walk around his house in Clarence Center, almost got lost in his own neighborhood. That's certainly one there. The wind is brutal. Everybody agrees that. What does this one say? 9 people stranded in the vehicles at the Tops Plaza on Maple and Transit. They had to call the police and they're still waiting. Wow, that's not a good situation. Ron is calling for a Bills win, 24-14 in the brutal cold out there as well. Mail carriers. I don't think the mail carriers are going to make it out tomorrow. I mean, if they can't see the mailboxes, how are they supposed to deliver the mail, right? Well, when are the winds going to subside? Not really happening. It's just going to slow down, lighten up a little bit. That's what we're looking at there. What are we looking at else? Warsaw, high winds. Everybody's getting the high winds. Will Angola be snowing between 5 and 9 p.m. on Christmas? That's this map right here. Let's find Angola. You're almost there right now, 5 to 9 p.m. All right, the band stays here tomorrow between 4 and 6 p.m. There's Warsaw. And where are we going here? Go. Fredonia, Dunkirk area. You can see it there getting hit tomorrow, or that is on Christmas Day. That's Dunkirk, Fredonia area getting popped. All right, hey, hit the like and share button for us real quick. We'll make that ask while we kind of reloading the questions, kind of catching up on all this. Great to do it. The wind is picked up in Lockport. We're doing all the reporting we can on this. Thank you very much. It says Alabama hotel has 100+ people from around the country. I don't know if that's in the Alabama in Genesee County, but I bet it is because the thruways. Dave, the thruway closes out there, doesn't it? That's about as far as you can go.
There's a travel ban on the thruway.
Yeah.
You can't travel on there.
So they're dumping out and all hanging out at the hotel there, I guess.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been getting questions about the Blizzard of 77. And I did some digging and I found a photo of a person on the rooftop if you wanted to see that.
Yeah, do it.
Because people wanted to people keep on asking, is this worse than the blizzard of 77? And if you see photos like this,
not yet.
Yeah, it's not even close. I mean, that's how big the snow drifts were. This is from the Buffalo Courier Express. I know that is no longer existing, but I found this on the Buffalo State website. And this is, I mean, that's insane. So when people try to compare this event to the Buffalo 77, like, you have to take a step back and you have to look at this photo and be like,
a little more to go.
Yeah, you got a lot more to go.
Yeah, Cheektowaga could get there, though. If there's anybody that has a shot, it's going to stay there for a while. Hey, here's a tip from Western New York's favorite electrician. And he says, shovel out your generators. They need air to run. All the vents and openings on the generators. So if you're running on a generator power, and we have a lot of people that are watching tonight, that are watching on their phones, and they're thinking, okay, everything's working. You've got to keep the vents on that generator and your house for the furnaces as well. Keep those clean. Jamestown, should we talk about them for a moment and see if they end up in the snow party on this one? It doesn't look like Jamestown is going to get a big hit on this, so let's go ahead and bring them into the picture here. The cutoff point here, I think when you think about Westfield, they're going to get some of that snow that blows up, but this never really changes direction long enough to get Jamestown any more than what would be considered a coating for them down there. When does Tonawanda get a break? And if we go back to it, I think tomorrow it kind of edges. It's not until tomorrow sometime. I mean, this is what it is now. Dave will take us through time and get us into the morning hours. When people wake up tomorrow, you're going to bed right now. Let's look at like 8:30 in the morning. You're still getting crushed. The Tonawandas are getting crushed. Kenmore, Buffalo, Depew, Harris Hill, Rapids, all of that. Let's look at see if we can expand a little further north and east to show folks tomorrow morning when you wake up. Forget what's happening between now and then. There's more on the way. So South Lockport, you're in there as well. When it says, when are the lights coming on and back on in Buffalo? I don't know. Lancaster Sunday, able to drive? No, that's coming your way. And it is not going to be a situation where you're going to be able to drive down there. Go ahead.
She was saying Sunday.
Oh, yeah, Sunday. And I think that's
Sunday, you're getting that break. But
in the afternoon.
Problem is, are the crews going to have enough time to clear your road?
Yeah.
And
I don't think you're going to be able to drive.
Yeah.
I think even if it exits, you're going to be dealing with the residual driving bans too. Batavia, there seems to be a lull in the wind. I would not be lulled into complacency by that lull in the wind because there's more on the way. Wish all my Florida friends a Merry Christmas. Well, thank you very much. That's awesome. We had Medina there as well. We talked about Medina tomorrow morning. I'm glad you left it there, Dave. That's a great spot because what you're looking at on the screen is what you're waking up to tomorrow. And then if you want, we can start moving that through time. The wind in West Seneca at the Buffalo border is brutal as well. Everyone keeps saying that. Angola, you're in that snow party as well. You can see Sturgeon Point in the snow zone tomorrow. And it says, I think, so basically, if we're in South Buffalo, we are in for it for the weekend. Now, Nadine, it has sunk in. You've absorbed what we're telling you. It's just, if it's snowing on you now, it's snowing on you there as well. That's awesome. That's funny as everything. What time is the Bills game tomorrow? Does anybody know? I think it's 1:15.
12:31-ish?
12:31. Yeah, so there you go. Is Tonawanda done? No. Not at all. You might be getting a break right now, which is I'll pull that up and let's see if that's moved anywhere since the last time we touched on it. And it's going to stay pretty much right where it is. Let's see if I can bring it into here, but I'll switch it up. We'll go to the North Towns on this and get a peek up there if I hit the right button. The view in the city, the sky cam there kind of went black again. So I think we're back into the snow zone for the city as well as we find the northern edge of this continuing to just slowly plod back and forth, wiggling from the South Grand Island Bridge over into Blaisdell, Hamburg, and Orchard Park. So if I can widen this picture out a little bit here, and we'll see if there's any wobbles within that band. You got to look out over the lake. Right now, it appears there's some interesting convergence happening in there, where how you can see the winds kind of, you've got winds at the upper levels moving one way, and then you've got these low level southwesterlies, and it's powering this thing. It's an engine now. The Lake Snow band is now an engine that's just going to continue to keep going. Hit that like and share button for us. Please do that for us. That's all we need from you guys. We'll keep answering the questions. How high are the drifts, and when will this all be done? The drifts right now are 3 to 4 feet. There's about a foot on the ground in a lot of locations. Dave, do you remember? Can you just give me the top 3 snow totals that were reported in the last hour?
Yeah, Buffalo Airport was at the top, right around 16.8 inches. Kenmore, 11 inches, and what was the other spot? Lockport, 8 inches.
Lockport, 8 inches. Will Orchard Park be bad on Christmas Day? I think collectively, yes, until later. It starts to go further south in Orchard Park, but I think you've got to get through Christmas Eve and then early on Christmas Day. No power since 10 a.m. And the thing about this, they're not raising the bucket trucks in this weather. So that's what you've got. Driving ban tomorrow, yes. If you can't drive there today, you're not going to be able to drive there tomorrow because you're not going to see much of any change. North Tonawanda, we talked about you guys being right on the border. I'm going to let this kind of go on a little bit of a loop, and you'll get an idea of where this thing is. Look at that cutoff. So distinct, but the wind is blowing around all the snow that you got across western New York. So Cheryl says this is starting to get a little scared. Some folks may feel claustrophobic. And if you go to open, where's that door? You have that door picture back? If you go,
yeah, I can pop that up.
Yeah, if you go to open the door and your door kind of looks like a snowdrift like this, that's going to start freaking some people out when the snow drifts start to get up on the door. What's the over-under on being blamed for ruining Christmas? Come on, plow guy. We understand your plow guys can't drive if there's driving ban. They don't get the exception in there. And that's what we're going. Is this the 100-year storm? I don't think it's a 100-year storm. Again, we showed the picture from 1977, and you've got to overcome some pretty big drifts if you're going to topple that storm in people's recent memory. Super windy all night. Yes, Joanne, here you go. This is it. You're in NT, and you're going to continue to be battered by these winds all night long. That's what's going to be happening there as well. It's near the thruway. It's covering up the thruway. It's swallowing up the thruway, and it goes all the way inland a long way. So that's why the thruway was closed for good reason. Because could you imagine if they left that open and then all of a sudden you have those 30, 40 cars stuck out there in this? There's no way they would be able to get them out of there at all. I doubt they're going to be able to drive from OP to Dunkirk tomorrow. Is there a glimmer of hope on this, David? Let's go back to that predictive model. Let me know when you've got it up, and I'll take a couple more in here. But we're looking to go Dunkirk. Is it OP to Dunkirk? He doesn't have a time.
Dunkirk.
Steve didn't give us a time, but if you had to go tomorrow, let's just start in the morning. Do you have a shot at it? I think if you can get out of OP.
Early morning. Between 6 and 8, I would say when that band moves north a little bit, then that's your chance. But keep in mind, again, what's the road conditions going to be like? With all that blowing and drifting snow from the farms and the gardens and people's houses, all that's going to be placed on the roads. Yep. So, it's going to be tough traveling.
You know it. Hey, I've got a picture that just came in. This is Grand Island, and someone snapped this today. It's the East River on the east side there, and that's waterfront property. And if it wasn't before, it is now. Look at that. So there's some flooding on the Niagara River. It's over its banks. It's swallowing up the docks, probably causing a ton of damage there as well. So the Niagara River, there's been some damage. If you folks have pictures out there, if anybody has some cool stuff that you saw and say, hey, I'd love to share this, get it on the screen, text it to 503-ANDY, 503-2639. Put that in your contacts. That's a number that goes to us directly. We're able to communicate back with you. If you text the word weather, you'll get something back, but we can get some pictures from you guys in there. No problem. It's a pretty cool thing to have, being able to communicate directly. So feel free to do that. You can have a meteorologist on speed dial if you want to ask some questions here. He says it's nearly impossible to clear with plow trucks. You're going to need heavy equipment to move all this. Certainly the drifts. That except this is a lighter snow, I can tell you that. It is a different consistency. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
I just got new video from Buffalo Weather.
All right,
snow drifts in South Buffalo. If you want to put my screen on the map here. There you go.
That guy right there. Oh, there you go. Fire it up.
Yeah, this is a brand new video, and you can see the peaks and the curves there with the drifts out there in South Buffalo, and again, poor visibility. And this thing is just going to sit on top of South Buffalo. We're not even close to being out of the woods right now.
Look at that. So you can see how it's getting pulled up near the house, and it's creating these little moguls right in his backyard there. Wow. And the thing is, you get a foot of snow. It's starting to get redistributed, and it's anywhere between 12 and 18 inches is what's on the ground now, and we're going to see more of that. And the winds are going to keep moving it around. What do we have here? The winds are so strong that our power was out for hours today. It's been flickering in and out all day long. They're next to Evangola State Park down there, and as you can see, some of that snow connecting with the shoreline and moving it on. Thank you very much. We got a 1 o'clock game. Appreciate that. Travel Band is going to be around tomorrow. There's the way that they make their decisions. I'm going to pop this back up. They make their decisions by looking at where the snow band is going to be, and they will reevaluate it and say, well, what section, what road could we pop out? None of the roads that are within the travel ban right now are coming out of it tomorrow. They made the decision based on what they saw. What they saw is going to be the same thing again tomorrow. So unfortunately, there's no data that's going to be pulling the travel ban out tomorrow. We're going back. There it is. Grand Island is going to be right in the middle of this thing. Let's bring that full. Grand Island, you're not done soon. I would say that the north end of Grand Island has less of a chance of seeing additional snow than the south side. I think you're going to find that that's what's going to happen with Grand Island. It's kind of the north side. I've got Paul was asking for a graph of the lake level. He's done. Paul's asked politely a number of times. If you want to see if you can, I think I might have that too. So I'll try digging it up as well, and we'll see what we can do.
I'm trying to dig up some power outages right now.
You got it. How many feet? How many feet will Depew have tomorrow? Depew's probably going to end up with almost 3 feet by the time you're done. 30 some inches of snow is what we're heading for. And let's see if we can do this here for them. We're going to pull the lake levels up only because we just took a look at the result of that, and I just lost it. Had it gone, and see if we can get it back. But either way, it's still very high, and we're about a foot down from we're a foot down from where it was at its peak. So that's where we're sitting right now. Is it a no-go from Gowanda to Gowanda from Hamburg? No, I think it depends on, Ron, what part of Hamburg. Lakeshore is going to be tougher, but you will be able to get there from Hamburg tomorrow. You just leave early. Don't linger. If you're going to put it off to the evening hours, no. Cheektowaga has been 11 hours of whiteouts and howling wind, and you're going to get that pretty much all through the night. There's very little change to what's going to happen right on through the evening hours. That's what you see is what you get in that situation. All right, because the gentleman who is looking for the lake levels, it's not the prettiest picture, but there's your first Seiche Peak, and then there's your second one, and then that's 579 feet. We're kind of getting into the weeds meteorologically, but here you go. You're down 2 feet from that peak, and there's no indication that it's going to go back to those levels, but it is going to stay high pretty much right on through the rest of this. I
do have a power map to show you from National Grid.
I'll bring it in. There it is.
Yeah, about 20,000 customers without power in the city of Buffalo. So I mean, there's a lot of people without power, not just in Buffalo, but Cheektowaga, about 1,100 people. Lackawanna, I know somebody was watching. She said that her power was out 322. 44 customers out there in Hamburg. So I mean, there's a lot of people across the area that are having power issues.
Is the NFTA going to run? Well, I can tell you this. I don't think so. And in a contact I have that the contact that I have at the airport says they actually they closed it down. First time in 20 years that they did a full shutdown out at the airport. So they're not they are not expecting any traffic, and the NFTA runs that. So they're not going to be afraid to close all this down. David says, does it stop? Yes, but it doesn't stop until we get to Monday. So there it is. 4 to 6 p.m. tomorrow. Let's just give a wide view of the afternoon. That's kind of, I think that's post game. So you're going to be driving home from somewhere. You can, let's see if we can pull that map back up. There it is, 4 to 6 p.m. tomorrow. That's the band as it's going to be there. And it's just going to keep going. And Aaron says it feels like never. William, thank you so much for the likes and shares. It's the stuff that you do that can keep this thing going. So if you guys can do it right now, send those shares through the roof. That's the big thing. If everybody, whether you're on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, hit that button, send it into overdrive for us. We appreciate it, because what happens is you open the door and kind of pay it forward to somebody else. It's great to be able to do that. She's in Cheektowaga, not far from the airport, and the wind is howling like crazy, but she hasn't lost power. I know about 6 people who are sitting out there without power tonight and have been that way for a while. Here's another one that says, Buffalo, no heat, no electric, no heat, no electric. That is not a good situation. It is going to be cold. Alden, when is it going to shift to Alden? Hey, Dave, back this up a little bit, and let's take a look at when Alden joins the party. I'm going to take a look at this right now and see if Alden is in the party right now. It's pretty close to it. It's only going to take me a second to do it, and then we're going to come back and take a look at what you've got there. So let's go to the north and see where Alden is in all of this. There's Akron. Alden's going to be just short of that. All the A's are in there. You're in it now. I'd be surprised if Alden is not receiving snow at this stage of the game. You can see that you're in there right on 20. But Dave, tomorrow, let's come back over to the predictive map, the model, and show that area that Alden's in. And you can see right in there, you're going to be in the snow game tomorrow. No doubt about it.
A break, though, for the morning. A break for Alden in the morning, and then the afternoon, here comes that band again once we go 4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah. Hey, Rich wants to know if we're interested in. He has a picture of the seiche in his toilet. Richard put a comment in here before, said his toilet is sloshing. I said he has a seiche in the toilet. Man, oh man, that's crazy. When is West Seneca going to get a break from this? You kind of got a break at some point today. Let's rewind this to the current time and talk about, is there a northern wobble? I believe there is a slight northern wobble to this through the overnight, but maybe not enough to spare West Seneca.
Yeah, West Seneca, you're not gonna be in the thick of it, but you're still getting impacted by the storm. The heaviest is going to still be over Buffalo, the 990 up to Amherst, and then this moves south again during the day.
Oh my gosh, look at this. It says, if someone would be so kind as to move the snow band from directly over my house in that how many days till spring? Preston says he's got a point. Serious, the wind, it came right down his roof vent. Wow. That's bad. When Santa's supposed to come down the chimney, but not that. While we're on it, let's talk about the clearing those vents. Seriously, you haven't been out there. The drifting could be doing this to you. That's not a situation that you want to get into. During the last big one, I ended up having to do that to my house. Multiple. I thought I did it once and I was done, but you're not. You got to do it again. Whiteout in OP. Can't see across the street. Hey, what part of OP are you in, Sherry Ann? Let us know there. And Aaron, thank you so much. It's that information, working with guys like Dave and Rich and all the spotters we have. We work with the most connected group of meteorologists in the market, and we're happy to share that for you anywhere. Sherry Ann says no one should be driving anywhere. What about Niagara Falls? I think we talked about Niagara Falls not being, I think, what do you want to say? Should we call them? If there's anyone who's safe, it's Niagara Falls, Youngstown, Lewiston. There's zero indication this is coming back your direction. So we're in great shape there. If anybody has some questions, go for it. Pop them in there. Sherry says she's not far from the stadium on Lake Ave. What I want to do is pull up Lake Ave, and now that we know, because over by East Aurora, in between there, it's not as bad. So if she's getting whiteouts and all of that by Lake Ave out at the stadium, let's see where that cutoff is. The radar tells you one thing with the colors, but it's when you guys can tell us exactly where that cutoff is, it helps us read the radar a little more. There's the stadium. So if you're in here, see those blues attacking a little bit over by the stadium? If you go down 20A, it's not nearly as bad. It's blowing around, but you're not in the edge of it. And that makes all the difference in the world. The northern edge of this, let's see if has the city come back in view. Do we have it? No, that's Tijuana during the day. Wow. That's rough. And that's what's going to happen again tomorrow. The ride to Syracuse, you're doing pretty good. Shouldn't have any issues on the way to Syracuse. Once you're out of Buffalo, that's the last time you'll have to deal with that stuff, and then you're good to go out to Syracuse. Driving bans in will they be done on Christmas? I have a feeling, Dave, if we go to the predictive map and look at this one, there's hope that they could loosen up those things in time for Christmas for some of the northern communities, I believe.
Yeah, this band is going to be in ski country on Christmas Day. This is early Christmas morning, and you can see it's right over Springville, Dunkirk, I'm sure Kissing Bridge. You're going to love the snow, by the way. Anytime you get snow out in Ellicottville or the Colden area, I mean, that's just good news for the ski resorts. But the areas that are going to be impacted by this band of snow on Sunday morning, Christmas Day, Dunkirk, Ripley, the Thruway, Jamestown, the areas that have been looking out the window and wondering, hey, where's my snow? Well, it's going to be coming on Christmas Day there. So there you go.
You got it. Two towns we haven't called out yet, and we're happy to do that. There we go. It's been bad. So not blowing in whiteouts. So Alyssa, I've got to tell you, it's not been bad at all today. And it depends on what part of Orchard Park. So the western half, it's bad. It's not. It's pretty bad in Evans. Yeah, the shoreline is getting it pretty good. Here are the two names we haven't called out, and you're frozen on the one of them. Don't move it, Dave. You're right where you need to be. Pendleton, okay. We're coming, and Springville. So let's talk about Springville because they've been out of it today. And if we rewind time and bring it back to the current, it does. Springville stays out of the band for a good chunk of the day along the 219. And here you go ahead and take them through it.
I was going to say, no issues in Springville. This band is not going to be in your backyard late Christmas Eve into Christmas Day morning. And that's when you can start to see that darker blue shading over Springville to 219. That's when the tricky travel's coming to your area.
So Santa's bringing you the snow band. All right, let's go to Pendleton and talk about that. Pendleton is kind of in the same situation as the Tonawandas, maybe just a little better than the Tonawandas by virtue of it being slightly more north. So I think you're going to be just on the the snow band might try to reach out and get you, but I don't think it will. I think you'll see occasional blowing snow, but you're probably not going to get killed. Is that what we're thinking for Pendleton?
Yeah, Pendleton is on the border, right? Erie County, Niagara County, right around there. Am I wrong?
Yep, correct. Yeah, you go north of Tonawanda, and that's where you'll find it. Power coming back on. I don't, even if they made an estimation, I wouldn't really believe it because it depends on the type of power. If they can fix it from the ground, you have a shot at getting on. But if they have to put a bucket truck up, they cannot do it. 240 south of Springville. Look at this. So even though you're not in, there's no snow to speak of blowing around, but boy, you've got the winds no matter where you are. In all across Western New York. How's Tonawanda and Amherst Sunday night? I think they're in the clear. Right?
You're good.
In the clear. We don't have to go through it there. They're in Lewiston. How's it looking for your area tomorrow? The winds will be howling. Here is the wind profile tomorrow. It's very strong and gusty right now, Peggy, but then we're going to see those drop. Not go away, but drop. It's still going to be a windy one here. And it's the second full day of winter. And Dave, we've got an interesting snow stat. I know you were putting this one together a few days ago where Buffalo is slowly creeping up the list of snowiest Decembers. And trust me, that's a tall list, But after this, we'll have to dip into that stat and see what it's like. Here's
Well,
one. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say it wasn't just snowiest December, but snowiest start to the winter, because you gotta add. I mean, I was going
Wow.
back to 1941. So since 1941, this could be one of the fastest starts to winter we've ever had. Again, since 1941.
Yeah.
You know, and when you consider, you know, 1976, 1977, those were way up there in the snow totals. 85 was another
200
one
inches.
that was way up there. You know, we weren't too far behind. I think
All
we
right.
have to add 20 inches to just be on the doorstep of getting into that top 5 list.
Well, speaking of adding some totals up, let's are people more interested? You guys again are choosing what we show, and it appears like everybody's interested in the timing tonight, which is fine. Happy to do the timing all night long, but we do have the snow totals. But I think people would rather just. I think it's freaking them out that they're looking outside and they haven't seen anything in a while. Lockport isn't too bad. It's just the wind blowing around. Absolutely. That's, I think, what you're finding there in Lockport. It isn't if you're on the north side. She keeps missing what we say about Elma. They don't have power. And hopefully you've got a charge. Let's help her out. Kelly, we're going to fill her in on Elma. Let's take it to where it is now and just kind of hover over Elma a little bit. And we can include a few other communities as well, and just kind of run this through time and give her an idea of what she's going to expect. Mad love to the Bills. You know it. I think it'll be a nice break from the snow tomorrow to kind of catch the game. Hopefully the folks put their batteries in the AM radios to catch it on radio.
Yeah, you were talking about Elma?
Yeah, there's Elma.
Yeah, you wanted to go like back and then forth, that kind of deal?
Just start with what it is now.
Okay.
And you're on the edge of it now. Everybody in West Seneca and Elma is saying, hey, it's hitting us right now. When does it I guess let her know, is it getting better or worse?
During the day on Christmas Eve, and then getting worse once again during the evening.
Oh boy. There it is. Coming in Christmas Eve, and it's with you. And then Christmas Day, I think it starts to exit, right?
Yeah.
There you go. All right. Town of Evans is in that band for, it is. Town of Evans. Let me pull that out. You can, it's, look at that. Look at right in the band. What a timing for that question. Man, look at that. That's crazy.
You didn't
Right
switch
there.
the window.
Yep. Are the driving bans expected to continue to Sunday? Yeah. That's going to happen. Cheektowaga, you might be able to open up in the second half of Sunday. That'll depend on how they get it scraped and deal with all of that. It's hard to say. Tomorrow, yes. Sunday, there's a glimmer of hope for the North Towns. Kenmore is in there. If we just slide up the screen a little, and this is where Kenmore gets some hope as we're into the evening hours. And then it starts to shift down a little bit, maybe pulls Kenmore out of the picture. That's your good news there. You can see it going through the night tonight. There's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. You're into the morning hours of tomorrow, still getting hit. But then as we go, is it mid-morning Kenmore comes out?
A little bit, but you're on the doorstep. Kenmore's right here.
When does it take the jog?
It takes the jog. You get a couple of jogs. So once during the early morning.
Yep.
And then a break during the early afternoon, another shot of snow, mid to late afternoon after lunch. And then by dinner, you should be in the clear.
All right, great. Dinner time on New Year's. I keep saying New Year's, Christmas Eve. Where did I just see it? Mary says she's got a 5-foot drift on the back deck. Hey, Mary, send a picture. If you've got some crazy drift pictures, text them over to us. 503-ANDY, 503-2639. Send them over. We'd love to see the crazy drift pictures. Colleen, he said, what did he say about Springville? What days? Springville is tomorrow. That's when it comes to South Towns, right?
Yeah, late tomorrow into Christmas Day.
Yeah, late tomorrow, Christmas Day. That's when it's coming. Snow total. All right, we're going back to the snow total map. It's been a little while since we've been there. Happy to get back into it for everybody because it's kind of an incredible looking map. I don't think anybody's doubting what we've got going on this map anymore because you can see the areas affected by this. There it is. Bring it in. and boom, you it it's a crazy looking map. And when we put the total snowfall on here, the numbers are going to be up in that 38-inch range, 30-inch range. Those are big numbers all day long. This is going to be to the end, and it's not moving for a while. So this counts what you have on the ground plus what's coming. So your total storm total. This isn't additional. It includes what you got out there today. That's a lot. When does it leave Lancaster? The same type of thing we said before, that it leaves out during the course of the afternoon hours, late evening hours on Saturday, Christmas Eve. Will the Bills be able to come home tomorrow after the game? Probably not. They get an extra day in Chicago, maybe there. When is the power coming on by ECMC No Heat? Boy, a lot of people are going to go through the night without heat and electric. When can they expect it in South Wales? Because today wasn't terrible. So let's get the snow map off the screen. People want to know about the timing. You want to know about the timing? That's what we're talking about. If you want to know if more people want totals, we'll go there as well. South Wales, David.
Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
South Wales, that would be just past EA, right?
Yep.
Yes. All right. The timing, well, I mean, you're getting just blowing and drifting snow right now. So
Right.
You're not going to expect the flakes to really fly until you head into Christmas Eve, right around the dinner hour. So this is 5 o'clock, and then the heaviest starts to arrive during late overnight hours.
All right, there you go. So there's your Christmas present. Will Amherst have any relief tomorrow? I think we're saying it's after dinner for those areas, right?
Yeah.
After dinner. What do we got here? Looking for another one here. The driving ban, we talked about that. That's going to stay in place. Perfect weather for Santa. Merry Christmas to everybody out there, Stephanie. Can we see the Derby graphic? Can we see Derby on the graphic, please? Boy, I'm amazed. We have some of the most polite people in Western New York in this room. And do us a favor. Do us a quick share and a like. I saw we've just probably another 70 people just popped in. If those folks can give us a share and a like, that'd be great. And then that allows other folks to pop in and kind of ask some questions as well. There you go. We're answering that. She was looking for that. There's your location. Tonight at 9 o'clock. Run this clock as we focus on Sturgeon Point and Angola.
Yeah, this is where Derby is, 18 Mile Creek, Old Lakeshore Road, and Sturgeon Point is right within here. So this is tonight. You're going to get a break once we go into early Christmas Eve morning. That's kind of hard to say at this point. Saturday morning, and then the afternoon, you start to see that band shift southward. You see the darker blues come on the screen. And it's just going to get more intense as you go overnight and into Christmas Day. So those are darker blues. The darker blue, by the way, that's where blizzard conditions are. That's where you can't see a thing.
Yep, that's it. That's where Mother Nature shuts off the lights. All right, Helen, there you go. We did that for you. Happy to do it, and hopefully that answers your question. So tomorrow, those areas are going to get beat up. Let's keep running it, because how long does Angola stay in it? I mean, that's the worst of it there, but let's run right through Christmas. Does it ever drop south of Angola? I think once it's right where you're at in that picture. Yeah. Does it ever go completely? Oh, look at that. I had a feeling that it doesn't really disappear, but you might be on the northern edge of this throughout the day on Christmas Day before when it starts coming back. Is this going to Monday? Yeah. How long do you have your loop going for, David? Does it take it to Monday, or did you just stop it earlier?
Here it goes. Here's Monday.
All right. This will be the people who wanted to know, when is it going to end? That's we're about to show you that right now.
Yeah, you can see. I mean, it's not the beast that what you're seeing right now. This begins to break up, right? I mean, you're seeing a lot of the whites and the light blues. That's not intense, but there are signs this moves back up towards the city early Monday morning.
Yeah, so
not as intense.
So by the way, it comes back. So yes, it is going to go to Monday. Let's give Dina the why is it lasting so long? Because the storm that produced this, I'm gonna pop us up on camera real quick. The storm that produced this is it's as large as a hurricane, and so it produced this large scale wind pattern, and where the wind pattern locked in, it locked in perfect for this lake effect. If the wind pattern had locked in differently, this would be plowing into portions of the southern tier. But the way that it set up was the perfect storm, if you will, to bring this lake band over the longest stretch of open water into Buffalo for a prolonged period of time without moving it around. Let's go down here and see if we can catch some of the new comments that just came in. There we go. This one 1 minute ago. And it says, what does it say here? The wind here is over 50 miles an hour. And no doubt about it, because that's the wind profile that you're going to get right through the evening. I keep hearing north of the city. What about Grand Island? They've been unscathed. Now, not all of Grand Island has been unscathed, but the north side has been hit a lot less than the south side. And then as we put the totals on the screen and bring that full, you're going to notice that too when we go up there. Let's go to the north towns. And if there's been a dividing line today that's always caught my eye, it's been the Grand Island Bridge. Look at this. South Grand Island Bridge right in here. You've got double digits. You take that drive down the 190, you get to the other side, and it drops off to where you're almost getting nothing. So you've got to be careful on Grand Island. If you're saying, oh, we've got nothing, you're probably living up here. Down here, they're going, yeah, well, why don't you come on and shovel my driveway. Orchard Park has a 7-foot drift in front of the garage. Corey, if you've got a 7-foot drift, get out there, take a picture, and text that over to us. 503-ANDY, 503-ANDY. Send us that picture of a 7-foot drift in OP. Wow, the snow is dangerous. Yeah, that's why they don't want you driving around, because if you get stuck, your car could end up getting buried and you're trapped in it. It's not a good thing. This won't be a record snow in this blizzard unless this turns. It is lake effect. That's what the whole thing is based on lake effect. So, wow. What do we have here? It says, be ready for roads to be closed. Yes, you can absolutely do it. Arcade is in the house. Will we be driving from Arcade to Portville Sunday 2 o'clock? Dave, that's got you written all over it. So let's take us down to southern Erie County and portions of Wyoming to where we've got Arcade on the map. And they're trying to go to Portville. Scenic Portville is down in the lower edges of Cattaraugus County. So,
okay. So Arcade, Portville. Arcade's at the bottom of Erie County.
That's good right there.
Springville. And then, so we're talking about Sunday, Christmas Day. That is going to be tricky travel because this band moves south during the day on Christmas Eve and then eventually into your area on Christmas Day. You see the darker blues. It is still a impactful band here towards Springville, traveling along the hills. And keep in mind, I mean, it's already tricky travel when you're on the hills of Cattaraugus and Chautauqua County. So it's not going to be a fun drive as we go into the afternoon here between 2 and 3.
Here's the advice: leave earlier. If you wait till 2 or 3, you're going to be driving in with some of the stuff. Leave a little earlier. Camp Pioneer, which is over there along the shoreline in Angola, they're getting hit. Big waterfront wave action with the snow. Can we talk about the winds? Yes, the winds, Bob, are crushing it again. They're actually elevating back to the 60-mile-an-hour mark. People are noticing it. They're saying that the winds are whipping again in the town of Niagara. I think Niagara has been the one. West Seneca has been talking about the wind. Haven't had a lot of wind comments from the southern tier, but it's going. These winds are going to continue. You can see the graphic, 65 miles an hour through the overnight. Once we get to the morning hours, if you haven't lost power and your trees haven't fallen by breakfast tomorrow, then you're probably going to make it for the duration of this one. Route 5 in Hamburg, how long will it last? And it depends on what. I think tomorrow it's if you're Route 5 in Hamburg, this is on top of you pretty much all day tomorrow. And the reason you see these kind of totals when you get to that portion of the map, why Hamburg is included in this, because you're going to be the pivot point for that piece of weather. That's it. What's the weather like in Clarence at 9 p.m. Saturday night? You know, David, I'm going to let you hand Selena the good news. 9 p.m. Clarence. You want to hand somebody? I think this is one of the few good news forecasts we can give out right now.
Yeah, Clarence by 9 o'clock. This is Christmas Eve. You can see, it's out of your area. I mean, look at that. Just straddling the thruway, Akron. The Pew, still seeing those flakes all the way to South Buffalo, but this is going to shift further south and south as we head into the overnight.
There you go. So good news for Clarence as we go through the evening hours tomorrow. Let's slide down. We've got a lot of there. You know what? Thank you very much. I appreciate we took care of you on your trip and got you covered on that one. Akron to Newfane Sunday morning. I think we've got good news again up there. Akron to Newfane. You want to move the slide just a little bit north of the thruway, and we'll see if we can get Lauren the information she's looking for. You've got Christmas morning loaded up, so all she wants to see is the 25th, and look at that beautiful news. It's south of the thruway,
out of your area. Newfane's way up there. By the way, Newfane not really going to see much snow after this. I mean, you're not going to see much snow at all. Period. That's what I should say. So areas along the Lake Ontario shoreline, you're pretty much in the clear until you get into Orleans County on Sunday.
You got it. How long has this ban been over North Buffalo and Black Rock since it started? About 12 o'clock this afternoon. So if you do the math, it's been there. So 12 hours, add a few more to it. It's going about an inch an hour. If it was over the airport at the same time, they're up to, did you say 16 at the airport?
Yes.
So about an inch an hour that we've been going, and a lot of that's going sideways. Any updates on Alden? We must have had 25 people asking about Alden tonight. So there's something going on. Everybody's watching. We appreciate the stream. Do me a favor. Another 45 people just came in. Hit the like and the share button. Throw us over 700 on the likes. But more importantly, if you could take a moment and share this and gift it to somebody else for the Christmas season, pay it forward a little bit. Thank you very much. That's all that we ask out of you. We'll keep doing this as long as we can and helping you guys make your plans. Let's look at this one here. It says, Dorothy, she's saying it's I think she's talking to somebody else. She has a 4 by 8 foot, not piece of plywood, but a drift that it's going to take, when you have a drifted garage, it's going to take a little bit of help to get out of this here. Wants to see the map of South Buffalo between, between McKinley and South Park next door to Lackawanna. Let us know if you're looking for a snow total or if you're looking for a timing of where this is going to be. Brand new camper is absolutely shredded. It must have been what kind of camper? Send us a picture of that. You can always do it. I'm going to put it on the screen. There's the text line. You can text weather and get some information back. We'll tell you what's going on with the winds and the cold and the snow, or you can text us and send us a picture at that number there as well. So that's pretty cool. This is a time lapse of this, and this is neat watching it pile up, and it does. It drifts up. Feel how it's leaning, how the left-hand side of the screen is higher than the right-hand side, and then it looks like this. This stuff is, when people are saying it's swirling and it's terrible and I can't see my neighbor's house, that's what they're fighting out there. Look at this, Alabama and Genesee County. It's terrifying. The words people are using, we haven't seen this type of vernacular with a storm yet this year. These are new terminologies that they did not use in the previous storm. There were a lot of words that people used to describe those, but when we're starting to hear that, terrifying, that's not fun. This is Cheektowaga earlier today. You can hardly tell that it was daylight, but it was. There you go, Nadine. Appreciate that. What do we have? Guys, the West Seneca OP border projections for Christmas Eve. Happy to do the update for you. Let's do this. West Seneca OP, David. I'll let you pop that on there. We're almost there now. And he was looking for
Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve. There you go.
Yeah, Christmas Eve. I mean, this band moves on north during breakfast, and then the afternoon it begins to slide on south. So Orchard Park is right within here where I'm circling the cursor. You can see the triangle. That's where Highmark Stadium is located. And then we go into the evening on Christmas Eve. You can see 4 or 5 o'clock, darker blues. Here they come over Orchard Park. And this is when you're going to be significantly impacted once again.
Look at this. Look at the blinds on the inside of the door. So we've got Richard, whose toilet has a lake sash. It's moving by itself. Now she's got the blinds on the inside of the door that are sliding around. And if you want to find that picture of the ice door, I wouldn't hate it either. I love that thing. I can't see that enough. We've got all these new folks that came in. We'll show you the ice door when we get a chance. Travel bans are going to stay in place. If it snowed, if you had travel bans today, you're going to have them again tomorrow. No problem, Karen. Happy to do it for all of you. It's no problem for us. We love watching the weather and giving this out. Hey, Mark, no power in Tonawanda still. These folks are going to go probably 2 days without power because they lost it yesterday. They're not going to be able to get it back in a lot of locations tomorrow because of the wind and the snow combo. And that's what's going to happen. Anyone near Harlem and Maryvale, my friend is in urgent need and running low on gas. They've been stuck since 2 o'clock. Bella, 911 is probably your best bet on that one. I don't know, crowdsourcing somebody to get out there. I don't think anybody can actually get there and help out. That's
I was gonna say Mark Poloncarz tweeted out moments ago about how stressed the 911 center is and Central Police Services because there's so many people calling in asking for help, and unfortunately the first responders right now, they can't get to people because of how serious, I mean, how blinding the snow is, how bad it is outside. I mean, they can't even transport people who don't have power to warming centers. So I mean, it's one of those storms, Andy, that help your neighbor. Check on your neighbor.
Yeah,
make sure they are okay. This is something that I mean, there are unfortunately a lot of reports of people stuck in their vehicles. So it's hold on and check on your neighbors again. This is going to be a rough 24, 48 hours.
It is. And we're kind of buckle in, strap in for this because it's not over. I think we're trying to hammer that home. I know folks are looking for, hey, is this over? And, it went all day. We can handle this. It'll end eventually, but it's not. This is going to go for a long time. I want to answer this for, is the snow done in Tonawanda? And we're watching it here for you. And it's really not. It's taking a break, but you can see the movement. Let me pull in here. It's actually creeping back. I've been watching the camera, this sky camera, and we saw the city for a little bit, and then we didn't. And so now you can see it that dark blue. We'll go in a little closer and pull out some landmarks. Look at how you could see it. Mark, I'm going to take you off the screen. Thank you very much. Love the screenshot there you got. Fort Erie's been hammered as bad as this side of the border. You can see it moving from about the arena, and now going back, and it's going to swallow up the 290 once again. Look at that. You can just see it creeping back up, and that's doing the same thing. That includes Williamsville, Amherst. You had a break there, and that's where it's going. What about Niagara Falls tomorrow? You're in the clear. We're giving the Niagara Falls we're kind of pulling them out, saying you're good there. West Seneca on Sunday. It will clear up eventually. The morning hours, not so much. And then a little bit later. I think we covered Alden as well. Alden is in this action during the course of the evening and overnight. And then you'll find some improvement there in Alden. But wow, you're gonna get a pretty big number in Alden.
Hey,
been out there. Yeah.
I got some new video from our friend Nigel.
Great.
Up north around Crystal Beach. It's pretty bad up in Crystal Beach as well, but I got new video up here showing an abandoned vehicle. He's been going around checking on people. He says that he found or run into about 10 abandoned vehicles on his way here, but here's one of them that's in the ditch. And I mean, you can see that's a pickup. I mean, if a pickup can't drive in this, it's bad.
One wrong turn when you can't see and you don't know where the road and the side of the road is. That's the result of that. That's why people just don't Lockport's been hit hard all day. By the way, let me bring it back over here because he's over in Crystal Beach. And thank you, Lynn. Appreciate that. So that Crystal Beach is kind of right in this area over here. That's Point Abino. But our friends in Canada, they're getting hit on occasion too. When Grand Island gets hit, Fort Erie gets hit. If Kenmore gets hit, Fort Erie gets hit. So they've been in on this as well. I'm hearing that the trees are down just like over here. They had the same wind. They're getting a lot less. Their cell service is taking a hit over there. I don't know if folks are not getting if any problems with their cells. We've had great connectivity. No real issues there. What will Eden look like? Eden is going to be close to the lake on this, and you see how Eden kind of got a little messy. As it goes back to the north, while you're getting some, you could say that while it deteriorates in the city, you can start to see some improvement in areas that were getting hit. So while North Boston maybe was getting some blowing snow, Hamburg, you're going to get improvement all the way to the 90 and Route 5. I don't know if it'll progress to the lakeshore, but as we look at where this goes, you can see how ever so slightly that blue is on the move. There you go. No problem. Happy to do it in real time. That we're doing everything that we can to help you guys out. She wants to go Christmas morning, Akron to Clarence. You've got clearance to go to Clarence from Akron on the morning. We don't even have to put it on the screen. We know we've looked at that one enough that it's looking good. Clarence right now is getting is crushed again as this goes through Cheektowaga, Harris Hill. You're out on where Sheridan and Main Street come together, right in there, the 33. So this area is getting beat up all the way to Pew. So the reason that you see the hole there, that's where the radar dome is, and that's what we're watching. That's where the beam starts there. So there's kind of this cone of silence, if you will. Someone was just talking about getting hit by a big. Here it was in Wilson. They had one where the windows and doors shook. I've had a window rattler here today, where I thought twice. Looked out the window and said, "Geez, is this going to bring a tree down?" No, we lost one tree already. There's probably more branches to come on the way. Really kicked up in the last hour at Dunkirk. That's right. You would think the totals would be even higher with the constant intense snow. Some of it comes down to the type of snow that it is, and the snowflakes actually get shredded as well. You don't have big fat flakes. You've got these small ice crystals, and they don't stack up as easily. It's more of a dusty snow. And that type of thing. Happy to do the live updates for you, no problem. Marcia, all we ask, and I'll say it again, is hit the like button. Throw us up over 800. Get this shared for us one last time. We're doing this as much as we can get out, and the more that you guys pop a share and a like, the more folks that we can answer questions for. Again, as soon as you ask them, we're trying to get to them as we run down the list. What did she say? I know they showed Saturday night. But if it clears up in Clarence. We gave clearance to Clarence. So I'm going to not say Clarence in clearance for a while. Because I just want to quote Airplane over and over. Human life is a top priority, but how on earth does wildlife survive this? The birds are hiding in the bushes, and they find their spots to go. Daryl says, where can you send your pictures? Right here. Hey, Dave, if you get a chance, if you're in the middle of something, don't do it. But if you can, take a look at the text, and we'll see if anybody sent those photos in. Daryl, it's 503 Andy. That's so your brain remembers it, but it's 2639. Put it in your phone as a contact because your brain isn't going to remember 2639, and it's in the 716. Again, there's the wind pattern that you're going to have, and this is what we're kind of tracking, the edge of that. And the winds are not going to calm down tonight. Blowing snow, and it's stacking. Oh, it's climbing the patio doors in Lancaster. Dave, she said she just sent us a pic. Sent y'all a
the text line or to the stream?
I'm not sure if it was text line or the stream, but we'll look for that, and we'll find some of these and put them together. You got it. Happy to. You do the questions, we do the answers. That's what we've got now. Cheektowaga, Sunday evening. Yes, you're going to be good to go. The longer we get Sunday, you're good there, right?
Yeah, but this band will slowly begin to drift on north. But Cheektowaga, Christmas Day, you're looking pretty good. I mean, this band stays
Yep.
south of
Yep.
Cheektowaga until we get into late overnight Monday. But this thing is going to be weak by the time it gets back to Buffalo.
Yeah. Yeah. The dog didn't know where to go. I love that.
I'm not looking forward to going out.
Yep. Trees are bending over. You can't see anything in Alden. Let me pull this back up. We're just doing some of the radar, but as we look at Alden, the trees, the words that people are using to describe the stuff they're seeing is it's crazy right now. She sent it to the text line, Dave, by the way. Thank you, Jennifer.
Okay.
Appreciate it. She lives in Minnesota. She has family and friends back home in Buffalo. We're happy to do this for you. I'm glad we're able to share it and get this thing out here. Like I said, all you got to do is share it again, Dorothy, and throw a like on there as well. That's awesome. 50 next week for New Year's. There is a warm-up coming. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say it's going to melt everything, but it'll do okay. I think we've got at least a break after this. It's the inherent balance that Mother Nature does. She's going to do this, and then it's going to go the other direction here. Will Laura Ann's hubby make it home to Cheektowaga from Lake George tomorrow evening? Leaving Lake George, he'll have no issue getting here until he gets to the immediate area, and then that's when it's going to be a problem. How close can he get to home? He can get near home, but I don't know that he's going to make it all the way. I can tell you that the snow tomorrow evening will be starting to exit, but not Cheektowaga till the very end. How long until the winds calm down? That's I think the most popular question we've had tonight are the winds, David, and just I think people are becoming unnerved by the duration of this storm, but this is what we called for with this long duration wind.
Yeah, and it's not going to let up until we head into early Saturday morning. So it's going to, one more night and then still gusty tomorrow, less intense.
Yep.
So there's good news. It's just, you're still going to be feeling and hearing those rattling winds. I mean, I just had a couple of gusts here at the house in South Buffalo. I mean, it's pushing. It's really pushing the house, and sometimes my monitor to my left, it shakes. So, I mean, it's gusty, but it's going to be less intense tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh, hey, breaking news. Here's an update on the Skycam in Buffalo. Nothing to see. Whiteout again. Whiteout again. Sue says if it keeps it up, we'll be here till spring. It reminds her of 77. The whiteouts, absolutely. You can draw parallels to the visibility 100%. It'll be interesting to see where these drifts end up, but it takes a lot to unseat that storm. It really does. It's more than just visibility for 12 hours. It says, does the wind stop the thunder snow? Yeah, I think it's less. Well, there's a bunch of elements that go into that. It doesn't help. We can just say that in that situation. Laura, thank you for stopping by. We appreciate it. And like I said, if you've gotten what you need and you're ready to head on out and move on with your evening, that's great. Just go ahead and hit that share button so that others can pop in and get their questions in. Jennifer says Cheektowaga is horrible. Her sister's front door is covered with drifts. And some of the drifting that we saw in Cheektowaga was right in here. This is one of them by Amherst, and this is representative. Watch the fence. You're trying to look at something in this and your eyes start going around. The fence is really the telltale sign, as you can start to see it stack up there, and it stacks up on the window. Look at that. The light goes on and you can see it. There's almost like a quick before. I bet I could do a little before. There's before it happens in my back all the way, before and after. And you just watch the fence. You can see the fence, and then that drift just goes all the way up over there. Sunday is looking good for the North Towns. It is not looking good for the South Towns and Southern Tier. Here's why as we rewind this back to Christmas Day. Can we do that for folks, Dave,
yes,
real quick?
Can.
Bring that back in there. Awesome. And we'll start you off in Christmas morning. And you can see where this is leaving Cheektowaga and some of the North Towns, and it's sliding south. So even Orchard Park will see some improvement. but then it comes back. So, but you're going to get some free time in there as well. Matt's hoping the winds are going to calm down. Tracy says it's howling in NT. The last couple hours they've been the strongest. Tons of trees down in Niagara County. I've got a tree down, and the tree that fell took out another tree. So technically, it's 2 trees down, but one fell and took it down. We talked about Sunday just for, you know what? If y'all don't have questions, we can move on. That's no problem. We can. I'll show the snow total map one more time on here. I'm happy that I think that means that everybody sufficiently understands where this thing is going to be as we get into the weekend. We've covered that exhaustively, but happy to do it. There's no question you can ask too often that we're not happy to repeat for you guys to make sure that you have what you need. This is the snow total map. There's the lay of the land. If you're in the middle of that thing, that's where you're going to see the heftiest totals. Those numbers in there, when this comes to an end, you're going to be in that 30-inch range. Buffalo, and if you're like, well, I can't really see my house in there. There's the roads that you're in. We can bring it in a little closer. The unnecessary zoom. Honestly, though, Cheektowaga, Williamsville, Buffalo, there's not going to be a lot of differences until you go north of Kenmore and Grand Island, and that's when you start to see the numbers drop down in there. So everybody in this area who's been getting hit, you can see you're going to be the ones that continue to get hit, and that's what you're going to have. Do we have a snow map of what's to come? Yes. So this is going to be the total. You're at about 16 now, and you're going to have to kind of do the math on that one at this point. So if you're not at 35, you're probably about halfway there, because what's going to happen is Buffalo is going to sit through the overnight, and what you're going to get, you got 16 on the ground now, and when you do the snow math, if this doesn't pull out until after the afternoon hours tomorrow, you're about another 18 hours. And there's an opportunity for this to actually increase in intensity during the course of the day on Saturday. So the areas that are getting absolutely smashed right now could actually see an uptick, and then that'll take you over that 30-inch mark. That's why the areas that were close to the lake or close to downtown Buffalo were the most impacted there. That's a big number. 37 inches of snow. That's huge. How much for Oakfield? All right, in order to do that, I'm going to pause this up and we'll bring it back up to the north. Alabama, Oakfield up there. Let me hit pause, get you back up to the north. And let's see if we can do that. One more click. There it is. And so you're over here in Oakfield. You're getting the blow off of all of this snow from downtown. So your numbers aren't going to be as big, but they are going to be there. Thank you very much, Kim. Appreciate it. North Collins on Sunday, noon to 5. You're going to get the snow coming down there. We talked about that. She just got the message. There you go. Cleve Hill is around the corner. Thank you very much, Dave. That's awesome. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, well, I mean, we put it out on Twitter, asking
Great.
people, hey, if you're in the neighborhood, ask, and try and help out here. And somebody messaged me back and saying that was the Cleve Hill department, fire department was right around the corner. So I'm just trying to help as many people out as I can.
Guy says that the winds are picking up again. He would know. He's the plow guy, although the plow guy is parked the truck for the night. I think the weather in Wheatfield, when we look at the totals in Wheatfield, they're not going to jump off the page. And I think we're throwing Wheatfield kind of in with Niagara Falls, as you have the least chance of seeing any of this snow again. I think that snow band doesn't get back up there for you. Anybody going to be able to travel from Canada to Williamsville on Christmas morning? I believe Clarence is in the clear, so Williamsville is going to be there as well. If you can get across
I was going to say, is the Peace Bridge, I don't know if it's open.
Yeah, you have to take
maybe you have to go to Rainbow.
Take a northern bridge. Don't try the Peace Bridge. And once you do, you might not be able to take the highway the entire way, but you will be able to get there. That's good. So everyone is saying the winds have picked up. This is a consensus there.
Yeah.
So thank you very much, Maureen. We appreciate all the positive comments. Ellicottville. Let's talk about Ellicottville a little bit, Dave. We'll pop this back up, roll it down there. Will this get to Ellicottville and provide them with the snow that they want?
I bet they're making snow right now. I mean, this is really good snow making weather for Ellicottville on the hills of Holiday Valley. But for that main event, the Lake Effect Band, you're not going to see anything in Holiday Valley until we get into early Christmas Day. And it's doubtful that, the thick of things, or at least the heaviest of the band, is going to even make it into the Ellicottville area. So that's in question, but I can guarantee you right now, it's cold enough to make snow. I bet you they're doing it right now. Yeah. See,
I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. We've got a Ellicottville live right there. That's what's happening down there. They're making their own snow. So let's look. We've got, it says, I can't go out to get a picture of my garage in Black Rock. He has a drift bigger than him. Bigger than wow. That is huge. He parked his truck since the morning hours. Winds are picking up in Elma now. Again, some crazy drifts. This is going to be when we get first light tomorrow. That's going to be really interesting. Make sure that you text us in. Thank you so much for the kind words there. We've reached, what does it say? We've reached our yearly total in South Buffalo for the season from the last two snowfalls.
Yeah.
It feels like it, right?
Yeah.
What does it say? Kenmore seems not bad. The winds have lessened. You might be the only spot. Just give it some time. It's still going to go. So the north towns are good for Christmas, but the roads will be clear for traveling and parties at dinner time. I think we're going to, the reassurance that we want to give them dinner time on Christmas. Dave, can we go to the 25th at around 5 p.m. on that map? Just leave it right where it is. Just crank through time and do that. It'll be neat.
Yeah, I mean, 25th.
Click the bell for the coverage too. That way you guys get pinged. That's great. Thank you for doing that. Go ahead, Dave.
I was going to say that band's going to be south of Buffalo on Christmas Day.
There you go. And then for Christmas dinner as well. So that's good. You guys get the whole day. Springville, Christmas Day, that's when it arrives in your backyard, and it's going to spend the afternoon and evening hours down in the South Towns there. So we got a couple of people wondering about that. We've got another one here. He says, will there be a travel ban all day tomorrow? Yes. That's what's going to happen. You're going to get stuck in that situation where you're finding the travel ban in effect because there's really nothing to allow that to allow it to be dropped. Much like a football, if there's a call made, you're not going to get an official to overturn that until there's irrefutable meteorological evidence that it's not snowing and the snow has kind of come to an end for them as well. Will the Elma West Seneca be clear on Christmas dinner time too? All right, let's see. Do they get into, can we clear West Seneca and Elma for Christmas dinner as well? Here you go, Christmas Eve.
Elma's tough. Elma's on that border.
I'm pulling for it.
I think you're good.
I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to make it happen. Go ahead and look at it there.
But I mean, this is dinner time, Christmas, Alden right within
Christmas
here,
Day.
and then West Seneca's down here, 400, interchange, 90, border. You're on the border.
Yeah, do me a favor. Go back. Does it go further south though, right?
It jogs south during the day, but you're talking about Christmas dinner time.
Yeah, and it's not that far either. It's only the farthest it makes it is Hamburg there during the day. Wow.
Yeah,
that's gonna be tough. Tim wants to know about Lancaster. You get some clearance in Lancaster as well. This thing stays to the south. Can you travel on Monday to get out of here? Yes. Monday, you'll be able to exit the area. The winds will not be a factor as much. The blowing of the snow, these intense winds, are not going to be as problematic as we get into the day on Christmas Day, and then also into Monday as well. All righty. I think at this point of the game, we're going to turn this over, and if everybody's got their questions answered, and you've been able to consume as much weather information as you need. We're giving you folks a big thank you for popping in and being so complimentary, allowing us to do this work for you folks to be able to answer all the questions. The last one there, what's going to happen with the winds? It's been our pleasure, seriously, to be able to do this and provide the service to you. It's great. One last like and share on your way out of the building, and we'll pick it up again with you tomorrow, keeping track of the band as it moves through. Daryl wants to know, Dave doesn't sleep. Just point in fact. He takes very short naps. Very short naps, and he's right back in it. All right, that's it for tonight. Thank you so much for stopping by. We appreciate it. Make sure that you check back in with us tomorrow as we track the Christmas blizzard.